Good afternoon to all of you, my dear students. Yeah, our upcoming test is Modern India. The entire syllabus, 33, 34 modules of Modern India will be the covering 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st centuries. Okay. Let me start with the quote of Kohli. What's that? Self-belief, belief in the self and hard work will always earn you success. So this is the message to all of you for today. You must have self-confidence, you must have belief in yourself that you can do it. And you must have not just hard work, smart hard work. You must do that smart hard work so that definitely you gonna be successful this year. Okay, let us clear prelims 2021 without much difficulties. So modern India, what is the trend of these modern India questions in your prelims examination? Let's have a look into this. Yeah, modern India. This is our next test. Okay, this is the test 8. Yeah, I divided like this: 2011 to 2020. I take this question analysis from 11 to 20 because 2011 is the year UPSC changed this pattern of the prelims. Yeah, 2011 you can see 9 questions being asked from modern India, 12 questions being asked, 13 6 questions, 14 5 questions, 15 9 questions, 16 6 questions, 17 7 questions, 18 13 questions, 19 6 questions, and 29 questions. So one thing is crystal clear that your history questions means ancient India, medieval India, modern India, and art and culture. Out of this, the most important or the area where you have to give more weightage, that is definitely modern India. Okay, in fact, the largest number of questions from history always asked from modern India. Okay, just to see the trend, just to see the graph, how the questions being asked in the previous years. Now here the biggest concern is how to prepare this modern India. How to prepare this modern India, or why to prepare, when to prepare, or what to do with modern India. So many questions are with you aspirants. So I will suggest you, if you are my student, I will definitely recommend my classes and material, because why I say this very honestly, I have covered almost all the genuine reference books, and I referred almost all these genuine reference books for the history, and finally I made my material and my classes. So that will be definitely lots of questions directly asked from that. So I suggest, usually I suggest my material and my classes. Other than that, I would suggest you NCERT. You go for NCERT, either the old edition of NCERT, Modern India old edition, or you can go for obviously like yeah, NCERT means old edition is there, new edition is there, then Tamil Nadu edition is there, or Tamil Nadu NCERT is there. Stick on to anyone, revise it multiple times. So NCERT will build up the basics of your modern history. Okay, that will give you the basic ideas of modern history. In fact, the basics is very fundamental. Without knowing the basics, you cannot apply any logic, you cannot apply any elimination tricks. Okay, NCERT is the best. Then I would suggest you, either you go for Shekhar Bandyopadhyay or Biban Chandra. Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, Plashi to Partition is a perfect book for modern India, or you can go for Biban Chandra. Yeah. Otherwise, I would suggest B.L. Grover. Either of these, any of the three, you go for additional reference reading. Either Shekhar Bandyopadhyay or this Biban Chandra or this B.L. Grover. Okay, for modern Indian history. And obviously, from where you have to start this? You have to start from 1707, right from the death of Aurangzeb, decline of the Mughal Empire, to this 1757, this Plashi battle, because that was the end of the medieval India and start of the colonial India or modern India. Then from 1757 to 1857, company rule is ended, 1857 revolt, then this British direct rule over India. 1857 to 1917, that is, entry of Gandhiji, or maybe Gandhian phase begins there. Then this 1917 to 1947. Plus, I would suggest you the current events of history and culture. For example, some centenary celebrations are in the news, or I would suggest some anniversaries are in the news. So the great historical figures, personalities, events in the news, that also you have to cover for your modern India. So this is what the timeline of modern India cover: 18th century, 19th century, 20th century, 21st century. Then how to do this? I would say don't mug up. Okay, don't mug up. History means it is not learning it by heart. Don't go after facts and figures. If you are only focusing on memorizing maximum facts and figures, you will be in a trap. Just try to understand history as a story, or like a story. In a sequential order, you cover the events of history. Just like you are reading a novel, a great novel, or reading a great story. Try to enjoy every episode of it. Try to visualize the events of history so that things will be much easier for you. So this is not about learning by heart facts and figures. It's about conceptual building. It's about understanding the concepts. Okay. It's about understanding the concepts and applying your logic into that, or analyzing the concepts and understanding the chronology of events. Okay, when something happened here, what were happening all the world around, or maybe for example NCM, what all the international figures contributed to NCM, international facts or international events contributed to CDM, or international impact on Indian national movement. Okay, you have to analyze the character, the causes, the consequences, short-term, long-term impacts, etc. So from analytical perspective, you approach the learning of the history. That will definitely help you to cover prelims, mains, history simultaneously. Okay. Then of course, why to study modern India? The fact is very clear, because the maximum questions would be asked from this area. Am I right? Maximum number of questions in history that would be asked from this modern India only. That's why you should spend more time into modern India. If you are spending more time in medieval India and less time for modern India, that's a wrong strategy. You have to prepare this history by prioritizing according to weightage of history in your exam. So if you check these previous questions, large number of questions being asked from modern India, then obviously ancient India, art and culture, and less questions from medieval India. Accordingly, you have to prioritize history preparation. Okay, what to do? Definitely, what to do? Revise like anything. Okay, when it even though you may it may seems very dry subject to you, if you prepare it again and again, revise it again and again, things will be much easier. Very quickly you can catch up and you can finish the syllabus of this modern India. Obviously, understanding the weightage is very important. I already told you. Just to see 2011 to 20, this I already done. That's why I'm not discussing, just showing you how the questions being asked in modern India, from modern India, ancient India, medieval India and culture. Okay, see, 2011, 13 questions asked from history, 12, 21 questions, then 16, 21, 17, 17, 14, 21, 18, and last year, 2020, 20 questions being asked from this history alone. That means something around, you can expect 18% to 20%, that is the weightage of the history in your prelims examination. Okay, you expected something like this. You expected something like this, that is 18% to 20% would be the weightage of history in your prelims examination. There is something around 18 to 20 questions you can expect from history. History means ancient, medieval, modern, and art and culture. And out of this, if you check this analysis, you can see large questions being asked from this modern India. So prioritize accordingly. And what do you have to study from modern India? I say, okay, in the micro level, if you go for modern history, something around 33 modules are there, which begins with this decline. Okay, decline of the Mughal Empire, later Mughals and decline of the Mughal Empire, till this freedom and partition of the nation. These are the modules from modern India. So I would say modern India would be like this: decline of the Mughal Empire, formation of the new autonomous states, princely states, British conquest, British colonialism, then company rule, governor generals, their reforms, then the movements, socio-religious reform movements, lower caste movements, tribal movements, okay, all the movements, socio-religious reform movements, reformist and revivalist movements, their causes, consequences, objectives, similarities, dissimilarities, contributions. Then there is 1857 revolt. Now coming across, after 1857 revolt, it is nationalism, growth of nationalism, different phases of nationalism, major events during this national movement, moderate extremist revolutionary Gandhian phases, and finally, yes, the freedom and the partition of the nation. Okay, so this is broadly speaking, these are the modules UPSC used to ask from history, or questions would be asked from these modules of modern India. So understanding the demand, that's very important in order to score well from modern India. Last year also, out of 20 questions, around 14 to 50 questions were easily answerable, provided you learned history according to syllabus demand by UPSC. Okay, this is my suggestion to all of you. Understand the syllabus, learn according to demand of the syllabus. Now this is modern India, and of course, yeah, for example, the first module is decline of the Mughal Empire. The first module is decline of the Mughal Empire. When you study this decline of the Mughal Empire, few things you have to take care. For example, you will study these later Mughals. Okay, you will study the later Mughals, later Mughal rulers after this Aurangzeb. So when you study this, you must go for its chronology, its timeline. The later Mughal rulers are there and major events during their time. Okay, for example, Bahadur Shah, immediate successor of Aurangzeb, he maintained reconciliations with the Rajput states or maybe neighborhood states. He reversed the policies of Aurangzeb, and Shahu was released. Sadesh Mughi of Deccan, tax collection permission was given. Then Jahandar Shah, Ijra system, revenue farming introduced during his time. Farooq Sir issued a firman to British East India Company, free trading privilege. Then Muhammad Shah is regarded as Rangila, even his bodyguards were also ladies, okay. He lived in luxuries and extravaganzas, okay. And see, Muhammad Shah abolished Jizya, and during his time, Hyderabad became an autonomous state. Then Nadir Shah invaded Kohinoor diamond and the peacock throne of Shah Jahan, everything he took away to Persia. Then Ahmad Shah, then Alamgir, during his time, Plashi battle taken place. Shah Alam II, during his time, Buxar battle, triple Indian forces fought against the British. Then there is Akbar Shah, during his time, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was sent to England for demanding his pension. Bahadur Shah II, last Mughal ruler, he was the nominal head of this 1857 revolt. So what I am saying is, when you study these rulers, you should know what were the major events happened during that time, because most of the questions being asked from these events only. UPSC may ask chronology based questions, match the pair type questions, even statement type questions. For example, these events happened during the tenure of these rulers. Okay, so just focus on this. Then here in this module, you will be focusing on various causes contributed to decline of Mughal Empire. Similarly, the second module, which is about the princely states, autonomous states, rise of autonomous states. You will study the rise of Bengal, rise of Hyderabad, rise of Oudh, rise of Mysore, rise of Maratha, rise of Punjab state, rise of Travancore, rise of this Carnatic state. You will study all these princely states or autonomous states being formed during that 18th-19th centuries. Okay, and also you will study their popular dynasties, rulers, the reforms, and the relations with the British East India Company, various treaties they signed, various negotiations or diplomatic relations they maintained with other Europeans, etc. You have to study, because questions being asked from such areas. Coming to third module, which is British colonialism, British conquest. There are so many wars British fought, and they built a British Empire in India. So Anglo-Mysore war is there, Anglo-French war is there, Anglo-Carnatic war, or Anglo-Maratha, Anglo-Sikh wars are there. Then this what is called Sindh annexation is there, Afghan war is there, Burmese war is there. You will have to study British conquest, military conquest, how they built up British Empire in India. Also British colonialism, its features and its implications on different classes, on economy, Indian economy, etc. You have to study well. Then coming across the socio-religious reform movements, the great leaders, reformers, their various organizations, movements, their features, causes, consequences of socio-religious reform movements and their impact on Indian social classes, Indian education sector, Indian economy, Indian polity, national consciousness. Then obviously the timeline of these major reformist revivalist movements, then their how they had been instrumental for many socio-cultural, religious, economic legislations. Okay, that also you have to go through. British responses to Indian social institutions, customs, and these reformist movements, etc. You have to go through. Lower caste movements are there, tribal movements are there. You should understand their causes, consequences, their nature or their characteristics, etc. You have to analyze well. Then, of course, 1857 revolt, the causes, consequences, different expressions or opinions by different historians about nature of 1857 revolt, how it was successful, how it was not successful, impact on Indian national, impact on, igniting Indian nationalism, or what was the British responses after this revolt, impact on various social classes, etc. You have to analyze well. Then the growth of Indian nationalism, different stages of the growth of Indian nationalism. Then this Congress, formation of Indian National Congress, nationalist, moderate phase, extremist phase, revolutionary phase, Gandhian phase. Okay, many events are there which I am not discussing, but it is very thrilling, it is very interesting. You have to go through it. You have to practice maximum number of previous year's questions. Okay, in every module, backside of every module, these questions being attached to go through it. That is very important for you. So make yourself well prepared for this upcoming test, and your target always, see, every test maybe 35-40 questions are from what you have already learned and revised. But your target is like hitting maximum number of questions with accuracy. Maybe next to 40 or 45 questions or 50 questions you have to attempt applying these logical guess, educated guess, or these elimination methods. Okay, so if you are strong in the basics, you can apply the logic, you can apply your elimination, and you can answer maximum questions without losing the accuracy. Okay, so set your target. Every exam you set the target like 120 plus and hit your target and prepare well. Any doubts, anytime, feel free to contact me. Okay, that's it. Wishing you all the very best. Prepare well for the upcoming exam. Thank you.